Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video I wanted to go through with you what it's been like for us to go from having one baby to two babies. If you don't know already, I am a mother of two little boys. My first was born back in September 2021 and he's 2.5 years old, and my second was born in February 2024 and he's 3 months old. So I have a 2.5 year age gap between them both, so I can only speak for people that have the same sort of age gap as me. I don't know if it's any different having two girls or a girl and a boy, so I can only speak from my own experiences. But in this video I wanted to talk to you about a good thing about having them as close together as I have had, some reasons why a bigger age gap might have been a little bit better, and then also some tips and tricks on what I'm doing to try and make the transition for my older son a little bit easier. So to start off with, the first pro to having them as close together as I have is that you still remember everything from when you had your first baby. If you're dealing with formula, you remember how to make your formula, you remember how to sterilize the bottles, how to do formula on the go, even little tricks with how to change nappies for little boys, because if you're not careful you can get weed on. And I think overall you're just a lot more confident second time round. It's all still fresh in your mind, whereas if I had had a bigger age gap I might have forgotten a lot of those things and it might have felt like I'm starting afresh again. I know a lot of people have said that when they've got like a 7-year-old and a newborn baby and they just have to relearn everything again. They feel like first time mums all over again. Another positive is that you tend to still have a lot of the things that you used for your first baby, and so you can reuse a lot of that stuff for your second baby, so it's a lot more cost effective having the second baby. You've already got like the bouncer, the pram, the car seat, a high chair when it comes to time needing it. I kept a lot of Dian's baby clothes as well, just because we knew we were going to have a second. I decided to keep a lot of things, and then depending on whether we had a boy or a girl I would just get rid of anything that was too boyish. But with us having the same gender I've managed to keep a lot of stuff. And then with them being so close together it just means that they've got a built-in best friend for life, especially with them being the same gender as well. Hopefully they'll have the same sorts of interests as they grow older and into adulthood. Dian isn't really bothered about his younger brother at the moment, but as baby's grown older he's starting to show a little bit more interest. He wants to hold him more, and when he starts to sit up or cruise and walking, then hopefully they'll get on a lot better. Hopefully they'll play together, and I can't wait to see those days. The biggest challenge I think we've faced is on the flip side to them being so close in age together and being friends, is that they're so close in age together it's quite challenging to look after both babies. I know Dian is 2.5 years old and he's a toddler. He does still very much need the attention of his parents, and of course now he's having to share that attention, which is a little bit more difficult for him, and you can see it in the way he's behaving. He's acting up at certain times, like I'll go to change his nappy, and Dian was never an issue with his nappy being changed, but because he's seen baby cry when nappies are being changed, he'll fake cry. He's also increased his milk intake because he sees baby drinking milk, and then for us it's become quite difficult to divide that attention between them both. We do try our best to do that. I try and give Dian a lot of one-on-one time, and I think that is very, very important. It's easy to do now while baby is still so young and having lots of naps. We're able to give him the one-on-one time. As baby grows older, hopefully we can get them to play together. We do try to make sure that our oldest feels heard and try and do things that will make him happy, so kind of let him lead our day. He does like to go outside quite a lot. He loves to go for walks outside, so I make sure that that is something that we do for him every day, and sometimes he's going out 2 or 3 times a day just for little walks, and he loves it. I've taken baby out with him as well before, so we're still able to do things that he enjoys, but we just bring baby along sometimes too, and then other times it's just one-on-one or us and him whilst my mum has the baby. I also like to give baby some alone time as well. I know with your first they're your only priority, and I feel like your second misses out on that. They miss out on just you, so I try and give the little baby some alone time just so we can have our little cuddles, and I absolutely love it. I love the newborn stage, and now that I have baby number 2 I realise how much I miss them being a newborn. And I'm so happy that I can have those little newborn cuddles again. It really just builds those endorphins and makes you feel a little warm inside. So I'm really, really enjoying that time again with the newborn. And that kind of brings me on to my next point, you just never have alone time anymore. You've always got one baby. It is a lot to ask someone to have two of the children. I don't really want to put that on to somebody else, especially when it's not their children. I understand that grandparents love their grandchildren and would love to have them, but I also understand that they're not their babies. They've had their time having their babies. That it's now time for them to just pick and choose when they want to enjoy some time with their grandchildren and when they can just give them back. So I don't want to burden anybody with my children. I think that's everything with the pros and cons between having two babies. In terms of how Dian has been coping, as mentioned earlier, he has been coping quite well. He did struggle at first, not too much, but you could tell there was a shift in his behaviour. But as baby's growing older and is becoming more interactive, Dian is starting to interact with him a little bit more as well. He's always kissing him now, whereas before he just would ignore him, wouldn't want much to do with him, and if no one's looking he'll probably hit him. So I'm glad that sort of behaviour's stopped. And it's now more of the loving, caring side that's showing. And as mentioned, we just try and divide our time a little bit so that they each get alone time. And then there are a few things that I've been trying to do to make sure that there's no resentment built towards baby. So when he's crying or even fake crying, I try and comfort him at that point. I try not to say, you know, he's a big boy, babies cry. He's not a baby. I try and stay away from things like that because I want him to express his feelings and understand that his feelings are valid. And then B, I don't want him to grow that resentment towards baby, for him to feel like, oh, when baby cries, baby gets all the attention, and then when I cry, mummy and daddy don't listen to me. I don't want him to feel that way. And then another thing that I like to do is if they're both crying, if I've got baby in my arms already, then I will tend to baby first and I'll just ask Dian to wait. And then if it's the other way around where I've got Dian and I'm trying to put his shoes on or something and I can hear baby crying, I'll tell baby to wait, and I'll say it quite loudly so that Dian can hear me, just because I want him to see that they both equally have to wait for my attention if I'm dealing with the other. I don't want to stop what I'm doing with Dian and rush to baby because I don't want Dian to feel like he's always second best. Because that's not the case at all. And then something else that I'm doing is I'm getting Dian a little bit more involved with helping take care of baby. Dian loves bath time anyway himself, and he loves when baby has a bath time. So I encourage him to help, even though he splashes water everywhere. I still encourage him to help me. Dian will help me get baby's bottles. He'll help me get muslins for baby as well. And then he'll help me pat baby to burp him. And then as if Dian wants to hold baby, I'll always let him hold baby. I'll never discourage that, just because again I think it just helped create a big bond between them. That's everything for this video. It's quite challenging going from one baby to two babies, but I absolutely love being a family of 4. It's amazing how much your heart can grow for another baby. You don't think it's possible until they're here. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave any comments down below if you have any questions, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Take care, bye.